This is one of the first times we've had two of the same in the voting. This is incredible. Best turnaround. What do you got for best turnaround, Chamath? Best turnaround.
I picked Ford. Enormous performance. This year, the stock's up 130 odd %. Good portfolio mix of, gas guzzling cars that still make a ton of money, like the Ford F-150s. But, they have the Mustang. They have the electric versions of the Ford F-150s. They had some great investments. I think they printed like a $20 billion gain on Rivian. So it's just a really, really good turnaround from what that company was, which was, if you talked any car company that could have been up 132% at the beginning of 2021, it would not have been Ford. So well done by that team.
Who do you have? Sacks.
Are you an investor in Ford, Chamath?
No.
So I went a little different for this. I said the best turnaround was Kyle Rittenhouse's reputation. As you recall, Rittenhouse shot 3 white attackers, including 2 of whom were sex offenders, at a violent BLM protest in Kenosha. The media then painted him without any evidence as a white supremacist terrorist who went there looking to shoot people like some sort of frustrated school shooter. It turned out not to be true. There was clear video evidence at the scene that he acted in self-defense. Once there was a jury trial, all of this came out. He was acquitted on all charges, and the prosecution was revealed to be politically motivated. I would say that Rittenhouse now has his freedom, and he has his reputation back in the eyes of all fair observers.
Who do you got, Friedberg?
Well, I went from who was in the worst shape and, came back from that. And I put WeWork on here, which is an obvious and easy choice. WeWork to me is like Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa could not win the match. Rocky Balboa got so beat up, goes to to his corner. He gets patched up. He's bleeding from his eyes, bleeding from his nose. He's literally about to die. His coach gives him a little smack on the butt and says, "Get back out there." And he keeps going. He's not going to win the match. But man, for WeWork to go from where it was a few years ago, which was days or weeks away from bankruptcy, billions of dollars of money injected by SoftBank, and for them to orchestrate basically this whole juggernaut into what looks like a business now, and get it public via SPAC, and it now has enough capital and a good game plan, and it looks like maybe a normal challenge technology business, was really quite a turnaround. There was no one to sell this thing to. They had to get in there and they had to rework this whole thing. And they reworked WeWork, and Rocky Balboa is going to make it to the 10th round. He may not win the match, but he's still in it. It was pretty impressive to see them get it out this year.
All right, listen, I struggled with this one. I had 2 companies that I really wanted to highlight for 2 different reasons. One was Twitter, which had no product velocity, and people thought, and I'm taking out financial performance right now, I'm just looking at the product itself. And my Lord, have they increased their product velocity, releasing newsletters, audio spaces, and countless other features. And so I like them, but I actually think Disney, which was, and it hasn't performed well this year, but they had 44 million subs. They added 44 million paid subs this year. And people thought theme parks would be a problem, et cetera. And I think they're going to have an absolute killer future. If Apple had not, if it hadn't been for antitrust right now, I think Apple would be looking at buying Disney if they had any way to get it through there, because the juggernaut
what do they turn around exactly? Like, turnaround means it's crappy and then it's not crappy.
Well, I didn't do stock price, but I think they had a major threat and a major question of, could they actually create their own streaming platform? Would it work? And getting out of the pandemic, could the parks rebound? The parks have rebounded.
I see.
I think they're going to roll over Netflix. So the sentiment was like, God, the stock, I don't know. And they've really, I think, turned it around.
Yeah, the stock's been a dog this year, but yeah, I understand.
That's why I said, like, it's kind of hard to pick it, but I do think, like, if you look at the fundamentals of the business,
Twitter's
I think
down
that
this year too, right?
is going to go to 300 million because they announced so much content from the Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, Disney ecosystem that is coming this year and next year. And it's going from Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, where, Hayden Christensen and the guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi are coming back. Like, this library is going to have a ridiculous 2022.
I like HBO Max more than Disney Plus. I mean, my kids watch a little Disney Plus, but they watch all the other streaming services too.
Yeah.
Disney Plus doesn't seem to have a monopoly for me. HBO Max is such a depth of content.
HBO Max is killing it right now.
When that Warner Media deal gets done, I think that's the juggernaut stock you want to own. It's going to have an incredible library to compete with Disney.
Well, I mean, Succession. And just
there's
like
a library, man. They have so much in there. They're releasing
The Wire, Sopranos.
They're releasing The Matrix tomorrow on HBO Plus, like HBO Max.
And they redid the Justice League. And
the new
Matrix comes out on HBO Max tomorrow.
Yes, day and date.
I love that because I love that they did that with Dune. I love Dune.
Totally.
Yeah,
Dune is an incredible movie.
I'm in my movie theater right now, so I'm going to watch it in my movie theater.